Hello again, GLL back for another video. StarFox 0. Right. Disclaimer. Before I fucking start this review, I'm going to just flat out say that I enjoyed the game, but it has loads of problems. Okay. So, I'm going to take a negative stance on it, but disclaimer, I did enjoy the game. So, with that being said, before I get tons of hate, which I know I'll get for this video anyway, all the fucking fanboys that are praising this game, that are saying this game's amazing, that are on fucking Miiverse, fucking saying a load of bollocks, and blah 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 blah. They've got a huge elephant in the fucking room, okay? A huge fucking elephant. So it doesn't matter what they say because this huge elephant is right behind them. You can't hide it. It's right there. And that elephant is the controls. The fucking controls. Holy fucking shit, the controls. Now, Miyamoto directed this game. He's clearly going fucking senile. I'm sorry. The guy must be going senile. He needs to retire. Okay, he needs to do other shit than make fucking games. Okay, this guy made like directed some of the best games Nintendo's ever made, like Ocarina of Time, StarFox 64, Mario 64, Mario Brothers 3, etc., etc. The list goes on and on and on. Okay, lately, I'll say lately, like, he hasn't done a really good game for a very long time. He did shit on the Wii, like Wii Music, and he's done Pikmin and whatever. Okay. Now, you might say, well, he can turn his hand to anything, he's just that good. I would put it to you that the guy has just lost his fucking way. Okay. This is the guy that gave us Donkey Kong, Mario, Star Fox, whatever. All these characters. Nintendo basically wouldn't exist without Miyamoto. So everybody tries to give him a free pass. No. He's fucked up. Okay. Again. He fucked up making shitty Pikmin games that are fucking wank. He fucked up making Wii Music and shitty waggle fucking games. And now he's fucked up with this. Okay, so we can safely say that he's completely lost the fucking plot. We can. Okay, so does that mean that he's going to bring Nintendo down with him? I don't know. We'll get into that maybe later. But, yeah, god damn it, the controls. The fucking controls. Oh, this game is almost unfucking playable. It's almost unplayable. I'm not going to say it's unplayable because it's not unplayable, but it's more or less unplayable. It's nowhere near as good as Star Fox 64 in terms of controls. Graphics are good. Sound. There's some graphics that are a bit lazy. Some of the skyboxes look a bit shit, whatever. When I say skyboxes, it's not generally on the levels where you're in the sky because you have ground levels. Then the skyboxes look kind of lazy, in my opinion. But, there's no screen tearing. There's no... Well, there is a bit of frame rate drop on... I can't think what level it was, but there was definitely some frame rate drop in there. But that was when we were on co-op, so I don't know if that would happen on solo. Yeah, I'm just going to get into the controls because this is something that's not been discussed on any major review or anything, and this needs to be discussed. We need to discuss this. Then you can make your own fucking mind up. If you disagree with me, that's fine. Go ahead. Carry on. These need to be discussed in depth. I'm going to put something up on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. First and foremost, I will say this. The game must be played using the gamepad. Strike one. Okay, this is a StarFox game. Why do you need to use the gamepad? Why is there no classical control? It's a classic franchise. What is this shoehorned in bullshit? Why do I need to play StarFox game with the gamepad? Okay. Not only that, but the controls are fucking stupid. They are. It fucks with your head. Now, if you play this game for a long time, I'm sure, like all the fucking apologists are saying, you will get used to the fucking controls. Okay? That's not an argument. Okay? I can get used to playing any controls. I can get used to crouching with the B button Halo if I fucking have to. Okay? I don't want to crouch with the B button in Halo, but that's all they fucking gave me in Halo 4, so I got used to it. But it still fucking sucked. Okay? Now that was a minor thing compared to this game, I will say. So don't think I'm hating on Halo fucking 4, even though the game does fucking suck. And that's not the only reason it sucked. That's just an example for controls. So shut up. Listen. Right. Controls in this fucking StarFox game. I'm getting sidetracked here. Basically, first of all, there is no way of looking at the control setup on the fucking menu or on the gamepad. You press start and there's literally no way to just look at controls, change controls, do anything with controls. All you can do is change the invert and turn the motion controls thing from always on to hold down a button to turn them on. That's all you can do. And it's completely pointless because you have to use the motion controls either way, so you might as well leave them fully on. So you can't even look at the fucking buttons to learn them. Okay, it has this big tutorial thing that you can learn shit, how to do shit with, but people like me who are fucking normal people just like to have like a manual in the fucking box or maybe a fucking screen on the game where it just has a picture of the controller and then it tells you what everything does. So you can fucking look at it and then memorize it and then fucking use the buttons that it is on the fucking screen. Do you understand? Now, this isn't always a problem when you have really good, easy to learn controls. Then sometimes you don't even need one of them screens. It's just second nature. It's just, oh yeah, this was this, this is this, this is this, and you don't even look at them. You don't even need them. But in a game with controls that are so ass backwards, you need a fucking screen to explain what the fuck the buttons are. Jesus, not only are the buttons bad, but there's some buttons that do the same thing as all the buttons, just to confuse you even more, just if that wasn't confusing enough. And then you've got buttons that do things that you wouldn't expect, buttons that don't do anything on the controller. It's stupid, okay? I've got my own theories about why they're this way, but no one really knows. It's just a fuck up. So let's look at them now, right? Okay. The first thing you'll notice is obviously your left stick is to move and whatever. As normally. That's probably the only thing they got right with the controls here. Your reset aim is on the left thumbstick button and the Y button, which is in a different place to on the Xbox, which has always been confusing. It's sort of like the Super Nintendo thing, whatever. I think it's really confusing having them that way around, just because I play a lot of Xbox and I also play N64 and I also play GameCube, and everything's the other way fucking round on this fucking controller. It just confuses me. But some people might not be bothered about that. But anyway, so the Y button and the thumbstick both do reset aim. Why? Why do we need two buttons to reset aim? But we've only got one button for fucking shoot. Why? This is stupid, okay? The D-pad does nothing. And then we have nothing on the L button. The L button is right there. Why have we got cockpit view on minus? Why is cockpit view on the minus button? You can't even reach the minus button while you're fucking playing the game without looking down at the fucking controller. Okay? If the minus button was on the L, okay, this would make things a lot easier because we could just tap L button instead of looking at the gamepad. And you will see in the gameplay that I've got bits where I show the cockpit view. You're expected to use that cockpit view. Okay? I'm going to get into this right now in the middle of this. You have to use cockpit view in this game. Cockpit view in StarFox 64 was fucking rarely fucking even shown, used, whatever. Can't even remember what it looks like. It just looks like inside of a fucking X-Wing or whatever. You never fucking use it. You never fucking use it. Okay? Star Fox Assault, I don't even think had a cockpit view. Okay? Or Star Fox Adventures for that matter. I don't think they even had cockpit views. So why force this cockpit view into Star Fox that no one fucking wanted, no one fucking asked for? Why do that? It makes no sense to have a cockpit view and another view and switching between them, because for some reason I cannot fucking aim and shoot when I'm not in cockpit view. I have to use these fucking motion controls and move the fucking gamepad around and use the fucking bottom screen or whatever, or change the fucking top screen into cockpit view so I can then move it. Why? Why can't it just be classic Star Fox with a classic fucking Star Fox fucking aimer? It doesn't make any sense. And you will see that I fucking, on this fucking bit of footage I've got in here for you, that I fucking own everything right up until where the motion controls start to fucking get to me, and then I start hitting the fucking pause button and everything, and I'm not even going to edit it. This is what happened, and this wasn't the first time I played, by the way. This was when I went back after playing most of the game, and I couldn't even play most of the game on my own. I had to eventually get someone to play co-op with me, which was much fucking better because one person is doing the shooting and I'm doing the fucking flying. So I can just fly around using a normal pro fucking controller while somebody else does the gamepad bollocks and shoots fucking shit with the gamepad and doesn't even have to look at the main screen. So he's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing. And the game was rather enjoyable playing like that with two fucking people. So why not put that in as a two-player mode only and just have classic fucking controls for solo mode? That would have been cool. That would have given us something new and interesting, but at the same time, normal gameplay would have been fine. But no, the normal gameplay is now fucking destroyed. So the game's more or less unplayable in solo mode unless you fucking really force yourself into the fucking experience. You know, everything's good about it. The graphics, the sound, you know, it's all cool. It's a good package. It's not a very long game, but Star Fox games aren't traditionally very long. But you go back, you replay them, you get more medals, and you improve and whatever. But when you've got these controls hanging over you, you just don't feel like playing it again. You don't feel like just picking up a controller and just, you know, jumping right in there, because you really have to fucking think. You really have to think about what you're doing because the controls are so fucked up. So let's get back into the controls. I've talked about the stick, I've talked about the thumbstick, I've talked about reset aim, because the motion controls, you reset your aim because it goes out of sync. And, you know, you have to use the motion controls, you have to move the fucking gamepad around or get somebody else to be the gamepad man while you fly the plane. Doing that is way better. Highly recommended. If you are going to play this game, you play it co-op. Then it's not so bad. Then it's a good game. Fun. I feel like it was worth me paying the money, but I wouldn't go out and recommend it to somebody else because of the controls. I can't recommend a game with absolutely ass controls to anybody. And anyway, make your own mind up. They're going to be on the screen. So, yeah, we got the lock-on/Z target button, which was LT. Okay, that's fine. But the problem with that is you lock on and you can't aim looking at the main screen. You need to go to the gamepad. it just fucking fucks your head up. It fucks your head up because you're looking at the screen and you're looking at the gamepad and it just blows your head. But it works. Z targeting. So we got this is one of the big ones. Right trigger is lazy. Not B button, not A button, not Y button, not X button, but R button. Okay, this isn't a first-person shooter. It's a StarFox game. You press A to fire your fucking lasers. You do. So why change that? There's plenty of face buttons here that do literally fuck all. Why put laser on R trigger? You're trying to turn it into this shooting gallery type. You're trying to turn it into fucking Time Crisis or something when it's a fucking flight fucking game. It's a fucking game where you pilot shit. Not a game where you fucking on rail fucking shooter where you shoot shit. And that's what seems to be fucking happening here. Why do you shoot with R? Okay, you've got this big bulky gamepad and I've got some big fucking meaty hands and I still fucking find it awkward controls. Okay, like I say, the cockpit view, if you want to put that on the main screen, you have to hit minus. So you have to take your hand away from all of the controls, the stick and everything, just to press minus to then go back. Okay, you cannot reach the minus button. Why is the cockpit view on the minus button? And I think it's because they want you to look down at the bottom fucking gamepad and use that. Well, why? Why can't I have the option of just having minus somewhere I can just click? Oh yeah, click, and now I'm in the cockpit view, and then click again. And instead of having it on fucking minus, miles away from any of my fucking fingers. Absolutely bollocks. Okay, this isn't a normal controller where the select button is actually accessible. You know, this is the fucking gamepad where it's nowhere near. You could even have a button on the fucking screen that you press to fucking change the view. You know what I'm saying? But no. No, this is stupid. These controls are stupid. Okay. R button and right thumbstick button are bomb. Okay? Again, why have two fucking buttons doing the same thing? One of these buttons could have been cockpit view. One of these buttons could have been something else. There's, you know, you're cluttering up shit for no fucking reason. Why are you putting the bomb there when cockpit view is on minus? Cockpit view could have been an R button. Cockpit view could have been an L button. You know, it's stupid. And you've got why would you even use the minus button when you've got all these other spare buttons up here? It makes no fucking sense. So pressing up on the stick is boost, pressing down on the stick is slow down. That works fine. Barrel roll should, however, be on the R button or the fucking L button to tap it so you spin. Because you're using the stick instead to tap that, and that just feels fucking wrong. It feels fucking awkward to tap the fucking stick left or right to do a fucking barrel roll. It doesn't make any sense. So basically, if you want to spin, you tap the stick right twice or left twice and you do a spin. You hardly use that in this game because it's not a thing you can just bang, press a button and automatically do. You have to really tap it. So you normally get shot before you even get a chance to use it because it's a fast game and you need time. You don't have time to fucking react to do that because you may be boosting forward and oh shit, I need to do this, but then you're already boosting forward or pulling the brake or you're pressing another button and you take your finger off the stick, and that's another problem. They tried to put everything into the stick when it could easily have been the buttons or whatever and just have the up and the down on the stick. They tried to do some kind of stupid thing here. So let me try and explain it to you. Okay, if you press speed boost, if you press up on the right stick to speed boost forward and press down, you will do a loop-de-loop. And if you press both of them down, yeah, as in the brake and the fucking left stick, yeah, if you press both the sticks down, you do the long range mode turnaround thing where you turn around, which is known in every StarFox game. So basically the actual buttons, the only button you need is A button, which does the transform thing where you transform your vehicle now or deploy your little robot or whatever you're doing with your vehicles. Again, why A button for that? That's like a minor thing that you hardly ever use, because you change it and then you use the control on that vehicle and then you change back. And sometimes it automatically changes for you and whatever. It's not this thing you need to continually tap and press and whatever, like the fucking shot button or whatever. So why does it get this big primary A button? That's like the primary button on your controller is A. So why not use that for some of the main things? Why not have controller mapping in the game full stop and let us make our own controls that are better than your fucking shit controls? But no, you've forcing these shit controls on us, and it's no fucking good. This game needs some kind of patch or something with some better fucking controls, as far as I'm concerned. The controls are that fucking bad. It's really hard to get your head around. Let's get on to the buttons. So the same thing as what I was just saying. So you can press up on the stick and down, or down the stick and down on the other stick. They are on X and B on the controller as well. And like I mentioned before, Y button is reset aim as well as the left stick, and A button is transform. So that's all your buttons taken up. Now there was no need to put the loop-de-loop on X. There was no need to put the turnaround on B. So both of those buttons could have again been used for bombs, lasers, or cockpit view. There's just any fucking combination is better. The way the gamepad, I've gone through all the buttons now. The way the gamepad feels in your hand is this big Mongol thing. Okay, so now you've got to keep your finger on the R trigger and the L trigger. You don't use L and R, and you don't use any buttons unless you want to transform, and you just use the two sticks. It feels very fucking strange not to be using any buttons, especially if you've played any other StarFox game ever. You're pressing R to fire. It feels so fucking strange. Even if you've played like Rogue Leader or something like that, or any fucking flying game ever, it feels weird to fire with R. It just feels totally weird. And yeah, you get used to it after a long fucking time, but it's kind of you don't want to get used to it, and you can't get used to it fully. It's not like if you play for an hour or so, yeah, you start to get used to the controls, but then you put that down, you come back the next day, you ain't going to remember them. It's not like, bang, you're back into the game, you're back at the same ability you were yesterday. You've literally have to relearn the controls again because they're just so ass backwards. This is the major problem of the game. If this problem wasn't in the game, we'd have a fucking 10 out of 10, maybe a 9. Something like that. You know, this one thing stops it being a great game. It brings it down to not even half that. Maybe like a 6 out of 10. That's what I would probably give it. And that's me being a huge StarFox fan. Okay, it's not as good as Assault, it's not as good as the 64, it's not as good as Adventures, and Adventures isn't even this type of game, but I'm going to throw that in there. It's not as good as any of them. It's better than Command, because Command you fly the fucking thing with a fucking pen, but other than that, it's not that great. It's good in co-op, it's a good experience, it's something I don't regret buying, or anything like that. I don't regret buying it, but I wouldn't recommend it to anybody else, because I'm a fucking diehard StarFox fan. So somebody who barely fucking enjoyed those games isn't going to enjoy this, because this one's not even as good as those. You know, it's a real shame. It's a real shame that the controls have to hinder the fucking game so much. It really is. Like I say, Nintendo fanboys are going to come out and try to damage control these controls, but you cannot damage control these controls. You can't. They're a huge, big fucking elephant in the room. You can't fucking ignore them. You can't fucking ignore them. The motion controls alone are fucking stupid. Why do I keep changing screen? You know, why have I got to be in cockpit view? That is stupid. Now, if you forget about that, just looking at the buttons, they're just a problem on their own. The buttons are stupid. Why is there no classic buttons? Why can't I just shoot with A, bomb with B, you know, and then X and Y could be, you know, thrust and brake maybe, or you could leave that on the stick and put the cockpit view on there if you're still using the cockpit view. There's all kinds of fucking better controls that I can come up with without even fucking trying. But the ones that Nintendo has come up with are the worst fucking ones you could possibly think of. Why would R be shoot? Why would you use the thumbstick button as a primary fucking thing, like a bomb? You know, why would the cockpit view that is like mandatory to the game, if you don't want to keep looking down at the gamepad, be on the minus button? When you've got a free L button there, why is barrel roll on thumbstick when it could be on the R button? Because bomb is on the thumbstick anyway. So you don't need it on the R button, so you could use L and R for barrel roll if you wanted to, but you don't. Why can't I use the Pro Controller even though you can use the cockpit view on the main screen? All you have to do is hit the minus button, and the minus button on the Pro Controller is in an easier place to fucking get to than it is on the fucking gamepad. The Wii U gamepad's minus button is hard to reach, whereas if you just grab a fucking Pro Controller, the minus button is right next to your left thumb. All you gotta do is bang and change. So it would be easy to fucking do that. All you would have to do is put a message on the screen that says, in the corner, press minus button to go into cockpit view. Now, you might say, well, you couldn't tilt the fucking shit and do all that shit, but that doesn't matter because you could just have a centralized aimer on the screen that would be in the middle, and you would just aim by piloting the fucking ship. You know, or you could like press L and then use the right stick to move the aimer about the screen. There's all kinds of fucking ways around it. All kinds of different controls you could have implemented into the game to make this a better game. Personally, I would have just stuck to the fucking classic formula that everybody knows and loves instead of trying to fucking shoehorn fucking stupid controls in. Now, the 2-player was good, but while the 2-player was good, there is no other multiplayer in this game. There is absolutely zero multiplayer. No online, no split screen, nothing. Just you and your buddy playing the levels. That's it. And that is basically where you're going to get the value out of this game. Playing the game with one other friend. It's fun. It's a challenge. I won't spoil anything. You know, there's a lot of like nostalgia things in there and whatever, but there's also some new things and whatever. But I don't want to spoil them because this is basically, you know, it will. If I say anything, I'm just going to ruin it. So, as you can see, the gameplay of the first couple of levels here, and there's different ways of completing the first level and whatever. Again, won't spoil it. And there's different planets, different ways you can go, as normal. And, you know, it's a good experience, but the problem is the controls, and you're never going to get away from the controls. That's the problem. That is the problem with this game, the controls. If you say something, you know, if anyone ever mentions this game in the future, you know, the first thing someone's going to say is, oh, StarFox Zero. The next fucking sentence is going to be the controls. That's what they're going to talk about. They're either going to say the controls sucked, or a lot of people don't like the controls, but I'm okay with them. That's going to be the th and that's whether you agree with them or not, that is the talking point. That is what the problem is with the game, is the controls. All they had to do was include classic controls. That's all they had to do, and they couldn't do it. It blows my mind that they couldn't just put classic controls in. So, what else can I say? Yeah, so there's a lack of modes. As you can see on the main menu, there's fuck all really to do other than the main missions, and then there's the arcade mode, which is the main missions again, but you only have a limited lives, and if you die you go back to the beginning of the game, like it was on the N64, which is cool, putting a classic mode like that. But if you're going to put a classic mode like that, why not put in classic controls? Again, back to the controls. I can hardly talk about this game because of the controls. The controls, they're just like, they're there. Why do they exist? Anyway, what can I say? What else can I say about the game? Okay, the new vehicles. Okay, The Landmaster flying around is actually a time thing. I thought that was going to be where you could just fly infinitely, but it's actually like timed. So really the Landmaster hasn't changed a whole hell of a lot. You already had thrusters on the Landmaster, so nothing really changed with the Landmaster that much. The changing of the R-Wing into like a little fucking Sparrow type thing, that's alright, works fine, but you have to use the game motion controls again to fucking shoot with it and whatever, and there'll be some footage that'll be on there of that. And then there's the gyrocopter, where you have like a little helicopter and then you drop this little fucking robot down. All that's done with the gamepad. It works fine on co-op or solo or whatever. You just have to look down at the gamepad when you're using it, so that's not too bad. Basically the game just doesn't feel right after you hit the spiders on the first level. Once I got to the spiders, it was just like, whoa, what's going on? Like, you're fine up to that point, you hit the spiders and you hit the boss, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, and it's really hard. It's really hard to get into the controls. So, but once you get used to, once you get used to the two-player works, because you know that all you're doing is flying and using the other thumbstick, and you can actually shoot with the R trigger as well, but only in a straight line. Once you got that down, and then the other guy's doing the aiming and all that kind of shit and shooting the bombs, and you don't have to worry about the controls as much because you are just focused on flying the fucking ship, and it's a lot better. So why they couldn't have just done classic controls, I don't know. It lets this game down, and I don't know why. I don't know why Nintendo have done this. I really don't. If there was a game that perfectly summed up the fucking Wii U, this is it. This is it. Good graphics. People have been waiting for this game for fucking years. So great that we're getting a new StarFox. Great graphics, sound. It's something that's really special. And in every way, it's just a cool fucking experience. Except the controls. And why the controls suck? Because it's on the Wii U. Because they're using the shitty gamepad that no one fucking likes. Okay? This is the problem. And I just don't understand it. I don't have a problem with the Wii U and the gamepad in general, but for a game like this, it just doesn't work. And instead of trying to force it to work, why not just put in some classic controls, and then the people that want to play the classic way can just play the fucking classic way? I don't get it. So yeah, I will give it a 6 out of 10. The reason for that is the controls. The controls, and because it's not that great. You can play it by yourself. I'm not saying you can't play it by yourself, but realistically, no one's going to want to. After playing the co-op, it's so much easier and better. And Nintendo fans, Nintendo fanboys, I don't give a fuck what you think. This game is a letdown. This game has a huge elephant in the room, and the elephant is the fucking controls. And you cannot get away from that. And I can't even think about what else to talk about the game, because basically it's, here's this great game with these shitty controls, and all I can think about is the controls. The controls embellish everything. Everything I try and fucking say about the game, I'm just thinking the controls were bad though. That's all I can think about in my head. The controls are bad. I cannot think about anything other than the controls. I'm trying to think like, yeah, and what else can I say about this game? Well, the controls were bad. That's all I can think about. That's all I can think about. I can't think of anything else. I could tell you about the levels, the classic levels and whatnot. Like, they're all reimagined. They're all completely different. I can tell you about the graphics. I can tell you about the characters' voices being new voices, but I think they did a really good job. I can tell you about the graphics being really good. I can tell you about all kinds of things that make the game good, but
The controls fucking suck. So it gets a 6. End of story. I'm done. Feel free to subscribe. See you later.